Yeah, it's a bit of a crazy experience, to be honest. A lot of the guys have lived in Wigan and been Wigan fans their whole life, so getting over that initial bump was a bit of a surreal experience, being able to say you play for Wigan. But otherwise, the surroundings are great. We've got a lot of backing from the club, great support from the higher ups, and it's really good to be a part of such a big and well-rounded club. It really feels like we're involved everywhere we go.
Well, Dec, a big thank you for joining us. Before we get to this weekend's mammoth game against the Leeds Rhinos, how's the start to the season been at the Wigan Warriors? Brand new surroundings. How's it all been, the start?
Yeah, it's the start of the season's been a good one for us, I would say. We've got 3 wins, and obviously it fell to a narrow defeat against Halifax, who were very much a strong side, and it was a good test, I think, of where we were, and it gave us a lot to come away and work on, building up to the game we had against North Wales last, and then Leeds at the moment.
And how are you all settling into being Wigan Warriors this season as well?
Yeah, it's a bit of a crazy experience, to be honest. A lot of the guys have lived in Wigan and been Wigan fans their whole life, so getting over that initial bump was a bit of a surreal experience, being able to say you play for Wigan. But otherwise, the surroundings are great. We've got a lot of backing from the club, great support from the higher ups, and it's really good to be a part of such a big and well-rounded club. It really feels like we're involved everywhere we go.
And with regards to the setup, we should say the majority of the squad was the Leyland Warriors last season. I mean, what have you learned from what happened last season? You know, getting to the grand final and all that. I bet you've had a bit of a determination in close season to go one better this year. I'm imagining.
Yeah, definitely. It's something we looked at quite a lot over the off season. Is, like you said, a number of the guys played in that squad last year, and how we managed to get there, where we sort of fell short. So going back over that, making sure we improved on those areas, but also maintaining where we were good previously and how we managed to get there in the first place.
And Dec, speaking of this season, obviously we have to mention the World Cup at the end of the year and the performance squad that was selected. You and a few teammates in that squad. How was that performance squad meetup?
Yeah, finding out obviously that we're still in the squad moving forward from last year was always good to be involved. It's obviously a dream come true for anyone playing team sports or sports in general to play at the pinnacle. So it's always nice to be there. Unfortunately, I couldn't be at the first camp because I had COVID at the time. But that's just another way of getting around things. We got involved. There was a few of us who were unavailable to attend, but we found ways to get involved through team meetings, make sure we're staying involved by keeping in touch with players. But I think that just goes to show the sort of morale we have in the squad at the moment, where no matter sort of what the situation is, there's always ways that people are getting involved or getting others involved. And I think that just puts us in a real good stead for moving forward for the rest of the year with the squad.
And the squad, it looks really, really good on paper anyway. And when we talk about this competition this year, you know, yourselves, Leeds, Halifax, the London Roosters, and a few other teams as well, which I started listing. Forgive me for not mentioning your side if you're watching this. But the squad and the competition, is it driving each other along pretty much ahead of the World Cup, do you feel?
Yeah, it's definitely pushing everyone forward a bit because we know sort of the level of competition we all need to maintain, and while maintaining that, nobody wants to get stuck on that level, so everyone's still driving further forward. Then, so it's really pushing each other along, as it were, and making sure we're all at our very best and peaking around that November time.
So just one defeat, we have to say, and that came against Halifax, but a couple of teams got beat that weekend. Halifax were really on it, weren't they? Which does take me to your opponents this weekend, the Leeds Rhinos. It does look like it's going to be an epic battle this year, particularly between the 3 of you. So this game this weekend against the Leeds Rhinos pretty important, I'm going to suggest.
Yeah, it's a matchup we always look forward to, playing against obviously such a good side that last year proved that again. They were undefeated last year, so coming in, obviously they played against a very strong Halifax side and had a couple of injury woes, so it wasn't for them. I know they'll say it wasn't exactly where they wanted to be in terms of their squad, because of obviously the injury mentions and stuff. So I know they'll have been working hard to make sure they're back to where they were last year, and that's something we need to try and prevent them getting to against us at the weekend.
And it's going to be at the Robin Park Arena as well. So what's that set up like? Because it's just across the road, isn't it, from the DW?
Yeah, it couldn't be much closer. It's a stone's throw from the stadium, so it should be good to be involved. Where the plan is for us to be the curtain raiser for the first team playing against Salford just over the road on the Sunday. So hoping to get a bit of a crowd in, get behind us, and help cheer us on against the champions.
And that's what we started with, talking about, what's it like being a Wigan Warrior. There we have it right there. It's pretty handy, I'm going to suggest.
Yeah, it's everywhere we go, we're getting bigger crowds this year, and especially at home games. So now we're in Wigan, and we're hoping to be able to really raise that number.
And just a quick plug for this game. What's kickoff time, and just a message to the Wigan Warriors faithful who will be attending this one.
Yes, so the kickoff's at 10:45. As you mentioned earlier, at Robin Park Arena, and we're really hoping to get a bit of a crowd in, put on a good showing of what we can do, and also showcase the sport at the best level.